Hi there, I'm Rachel, and in this video I just want to give a bit of an update about what's happening energetically, astrologically and numerologically at the moment. This is 5th of October 2021. So with it being a 5-day of the month, and also we're in a 5 universal year, we know that because 2021 1 adds up to 5. We're in a 5 universal year, and it's often a number associated with change. So if there are lots of changes in your world at the moment, whether that's internal changes that are happening or external changes that you're making around you or having imposed upon you, it may feel that way. This is a time of enormous reflection and almost like a feeling of cycling backwards. Now that's partly because we've had 6 planets in retrograde for so long. Now when planets are in retrograde, what it means is, from the vantage point of the Earth, which is where we live, those planets look like they're relatively going backwards because all planets are going around the sun. The sun is in the center of the universe, but from the orbit of the Earth, at certain times of the year, other planets can look like they're going backwards. So to have 6 going backwards is really massive, and it's really unusual. And it's almost like the brakes have been applied to us all, as though there's like this forced reflection or forced cycling backwards and reconsidering things that have happened in the past. There may be a feeling of Groundhog Day. Certainly that's what the media often looks like to me, and what social media often looks like to me. Yesterday there was a big social media outage of Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp for a number of hours. I think it was 6 hours, and that's like unheard of. So it's almost like there's a grinding to a halt feeling, or a reset feeling. And just on that, I wanted to just come back to the fact that 2021 is a universal year 5 and brings a lot of changes. Now, many people in the spiritual community will talk about 2012 as having been a year when a great awakening happened. Certainly that was completely true for me. 2012 was a big year of almost kind of saying, I can't move forward how I was. That was definitely about that year. Lots of things coming up for inspection, things I tried to repress, and it's like, boom, that was the awakening. And I get the very strong sense that a lot of people are going through that now. So it's 9 years on. In numerology cycles, we have 9 single digits, don't we? 1 to 9. So 9 is like the ending of a cycle. And this universal year 5 seems to be a great awakening for people. I do get this sense that a lot of people who maybe bypass the 2012 thing are having this happen now, like their own awakening is happening. And awakening looks very different for everybody, because it's like a sudden bolt of a shock of looking at, the true self, what's going on with the self, coming into new levels of awakening, just shifting in our orientation in big ways. So I feel that that is happening, and to do that within the context of all this retrograde energy, which is making us look backwards, is a big deal. Now, tomorrow, the 6th of October, is the new moon in Libra. So when we have a new moon, the moon and sun are at exactly the same degree, and they are in Libra. And this is an opportunity to make wishes, set new intentions, and that can be on a really powerful, big scale. So if you think about what the sky looks like when it's a new moon, it's very, very black. So it's creating out of the nothingness, creating something from you, from the divine spark that you are. Knowing yourself as that creative being and wishing from from wherever you wish to wish from. I have this notion of wishing from the womb, the seat of creativity. You could wish from the heart, you could wish from anywhere. Wish out of the nothing. Now, tomorrow, the 6th of October, we also have Pluto going in direct motion. So that has been in retrograde and it's going to go direct. So Pluto moving forward is absolutely a time of huge transformation. Pluto rules all of the big processes, life, death, rebirth, every aspect of very deep transformation and really looking under the surface at everything. So anything that's hidden subconsciously, unconsciously, you might be having shadow material, i.e. stuff you've not been able to see, emerging into the light now. And that's quite a big deal. Remember that you've got the energies of Pluto, of Libra to help you. So Libra is all about balance and justice. Now, have we all been looking at what is unjust in our society? Have we been caused to cycle back through what is still unjust? And there is such a big shopping list to choose from when you look in society at what's unjust, and bringing the scales back into balance. So we will all be called on some personal level to whatever we are drawn to, whatever we feel passionately about, we will be called to bring that into balance. Now that might be an internal thing, it might be bringing ourselves into balance, having more rest, having a better balanced diet, not working as much as we have been doing, or whatever it is. Or it could be working for justice or balance in a different way, such as bringing the environment back into some sort of balance. It could be anything. I just picked the environment. Or it could, it could be like in the workplace, you could be a manager who is allowing people who have not had a say or had a voice to have their voice heard, and that's bringing people back into balance. You see how it could play out in absolutely any way. So the other retrogrades that are going on at the moment, we've got Mercury retrograde, and if you're anything like me, you'll be having every possible Mercury thing go wrong. So Mercury rules communication. I've got laptop broken, other laptop won't work, all sorts of issues that causes communication problems. We may be having communication problems, as in, not being able to get our words out, struggling to communicate with ourselves in a way that we normally do, go to journal and nothing comes out of the pen. It could manifest in a number of different ways. It could also be problems with physically getting around, because Mercury communication rules transport. Look, we've had a fuel crisis. But did we really have a fuel crisis, or did we have a communication crisis? Was it more the media by, if the media hadn't have said, oh, hey, everybody, there's a fuel crisis, go fill up your car. And, if that hadn't have happened, then would there have actually been a shortage, or was it caused by the communication? Who knows? You'll have your own opinion on that. But what my point is, it's all about communication. If you can't fill up your car, you can't get from A to B, you can't get where you're going. And this feeling of can't get where we're going, it's this like Groundhog Day, this being slowed down, almost like everything's in reverse. That feeling is there. Now that's going to clear off and move forwards on the 18th of October. Obviously, there's like a tendency to kind of go, get lost faster, Mercury retrograde. However, let's just bring our awareness back to, is there something we can get from this period? Is there something we do need to be revising about our communication that needs kind of slowing down and inspecting and reflecting upon? Is there something that we keep saying over and over that needs to be revised? Is it our self-talk in our heads? Has that become like Groundhog Day? Has that become, really negative? And that's a pattern that needs breaking out of. The great thing is that on the 18th of October, when Mercury retrograde goes direct and moves forward, we also have Jupiter coming out of retrograde as well. Now, when Jupiter moves forward, I'm so sorry, there's some terrible noise outside all of a sudden. Communication problems. When Jupiter moves forward, we get this sense of freedom, abundance, expansion, all of the good luck and optimism associated with Jupiter has free reign. At this time, good luck, expansion, abundance is all kind of been, it's going backwards again with this retrograde action. So 18th of October is a great day to look out for because both Mercury and Jupiter will move forwards. We have until Advent to wait before Neptune, the planet of illusion, deception, spirituality, dreams, hopes, all of that kind of watery stuff. That's currently in retrograde as well. And on the 1st of December, Neptune will move forward, giving us a little bit more clarity. At the moment, we may be going a little bit backwards in our dreams, in our orientations. It may be a good time to reflect on emotions from the past, our spiritual orientation, and to kind of just take a step backwards and look at what's happened in whichever area of life is ruled by Neptune in your chart. We also have Uranus, and I've left this till last because Uranus is a major planet of disruption, and that is currently in Taurus. It has been for quite a while, and that is in retrograde, and it will be until the 18th of January next year. Now, when Uranus is moving through Taurus, it's a really difficult one, really bringing the planet of complete disruption and change and lightning bolts and awakening, and almost like if you think of an earthquake or a volcano, it's like Uranus happens completely out of the blue and it shakes the very core of you. That's like what Uranus does, and it's going through Taurus. Now, Taurus likes to keep everything steady, so the earthquake is a good metaphor because we see the earth as being stable and steady and the foundations upon which we can build. Now, an earthquake comes along and shakes us out of that reverie and security. So it could be that at this time, we are all having a shake-up too, whichever area of life is ruled by Taurus, but also with Taurus ruling money, possessions, safety and security. It feels like that will be coming up for people, and also our values, because it's not just physical values, possessions and money, it's also our intrinsic values that we hold dear. They may be having a shake-up as well. And this ties back in with what I was saying about how I sense that a lot of people are having this number 5 awakening happening now. And that can feel like the rug's being pulled from under you, the ground is shaking under you. Because it's like shaking up your core values. So this is a great time when we've got all these retrograde planets. Here we go. Always there's an ambulance pretty much every time I make a video. Okay. This is a really good time to reflect, revise and gain clarity around a number of areas in your life, in whichever house these planets rule in your natal chart, and also what they are ruling in your own chart. So that was all I wanted to mention today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in having a personal reading at all, or an update reading about what's happening with the planets in your chart and how that's affecting your life at the moment, please do feel free to reach out. Okay, have a great day. Bye.